Hey everybody, welcome to Enliven Wellness, and I'm so excited to be here. As always, I love bringing these videos to you. So what are we going to talk about today? The best diet for detox. But first, I want to say thank you to all my subscribers. Oh my gosh, it's just like, it's very surreal to keep seeing my subscribe, thing go up, but it's awesome. It's so much fun. And I love people who are reaching out to me for help. Again, I do this professionally, so I do work with people on their health quest. And shout out to Karen. I'm really excited about our appointment next Tuesday. So if you do want, any help on your quest, please email me at the email down below, and we'll get you feeling more vital. I promise. These techniques work. I'm a testament to that. Like, I was literally dying just several months ago, and my blood work is improving, and it's so good to bring you guys this message of hope. Keep your comments chill, as I always say. If you're rude, I'll delete you. You can disagree with me, but put it into a way that we can have a dialogue about it. I want this whole channel to be healing. So let's get down and dirty. So I always get asked, are you vegan? Are you vegetarian? Do you eat meat? Or what's your diet like, and what do you eat? And there are reasons why I eat the way that I eat, and why I believe the particular way of eating that I'm going to discuss today is really, really beneficial for detoxing and just for health in general. So let's see, vegan, vegetarian, paleo, or keto. And if you guys haven't heard of keto, it's basically high fat, low carb. Paleo is eating, like our ancestors, like ancestrally. There's no grains really on a paleo protocol. Same with keto. Now, vegan is where you don't eat any animal products, and vegetarian is where you eat a lot of vegetables, but you can eat milk and eggs. And there's variations of vegetarianism, like some people are lacto-ovo vegetarians, where they just eat dairy products and eggs, or there's also like pescatarians who only eat fish. So there's different variations on all of these particular ways of eating. Keto is a little bit more strict, and so is paleo. I don't know. Anyway, so again, this is my opinion, but, big but, maybe not big but, I don't know. I like big butts, and I cannot lie. I couldn't help myself. Okay, anyway, moving on. So the reason why I chose this particular eating plan that I'm going to discuss is because it's backed by research, and more is coming out about it every day. It's also backed by anecdotal evidence, as well as my own personal experience and other clients of mine. That's what anecdotal means, just for you who don't know that, which is fine if you didn't. But anyway, my choice for the best diet for detox is keto. Hands down winner. So I discovered ketogenic back in the day when I was literally having the most horrendous digestive issues for a good 6 or 7 years. I farted all the time. Yeah, I'm getting real. So I literally farted all the time. And I started to realize that it was, and I didn't know as much as I know now, obviously. So I started linking it more to carbohydrates. And I was like, that's interesting. I'm a lifter. I'm in the fitness world. And I had always heard about carb. Eat all the carbs. And you can't get by without carbs. And so I would eat all the carbs, but I just felt bloated and uncomfortable and terrible, and I just felt hefty and thick, and it just didn't feel good. And so I started cutting back on my carbohydrates, and I started to notice less digestive issues. Now, granted, my gut microbiome was totally royally messed up, so I know that that's one of the reasons. But, I started also noticing an increase in my energy, and I was like, that's strange. I've been told that this isn't possible. Like, what? So one of my best friends actually went ketogenic, and she started explaining it to me. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna freaking do this. So I really started getting serious about ketosis and ketogenesis about a year ago. And I gradually cut down my carbs. I didn't just go from like 60% carbohydrate to 5 in a day. I didn't do that. I was a gradual process. And I mean, some people are like, that there's a reason why you want to just go 100% in, but I don't know. For me personally, I just went slowly. And basically what the ketogenic diet is, for those of you who don't know, you've got your macronutrients, which are the big 3, which is protein, fat, and carbohydrates. Your body can fuel off of fat and carbs. Okay? Yes, it can fuel off of protein. That's a whole other video. It's something called gluconeogenesis, but just toss that aside for right now. And when you're ketogenic, you initially have to limit your carbohydrates, most likely to 20 grams total. We're not going to get into the net carbohydrate discussion. 20 grams total of carbs per day. Yeah, that's like vegetables only. That's primarily where you're going to get your carbs on a ketogenic diet, is veggies, because you have to have such a small number. Now, why is this? Oh, so then you've got 20 grams of carbs, roughly 0.8 to 1.0 grams per kilogram of body weight in protein. And then the rest is fat, y'all. Now, keep in mind that some of the fats can overlap with protein. So just keep that in mind. So it's not like I'm just drinking coconut oil all day, even though I do eat a lot of that. Anyway, so that's the basic breakdown of what ketogenesis is, or a ketogenic diet is. With that being said, once you become more sensitive, you can sometimes up those carbs a little bit, but in general, you want to stay under 50 once you become more what's called insulin sensitive. Some people might have to go down even lower in their carbohydrate intake, but anyway, so that's just the basics. And the reason why you take your carbohydrates down so low is so that your body goes like, well, shoot, like there's no carbs to fuel. I need to fuel something. I need fuel. All right, let's burn through the stored carbohydrates. Let's go through the glycogen. Oh, and here's some fat. Oh, okay, we've got fat now to burn. Oh, this feels kind of good. This kind of fuel lasts a bit longer. Oh, okay, now I'm burning fat. And now I'm gonna go to your body fat. Okay, that's why people lose weight so easily on the ketogenic diet, is because your body's like, bingo, there's the fat for fuel, I'm gonna burn it. Because when the sugar is gone and it's depleted, your sugar is carbs, by the way, you force your body to burn fat. And a lot of people are like, oh, it's less efficient. Well, it is in the beginning, and some people go through like a problem with the transition, but it's usually fine if you have guidance. If you need guidance going through the ketogenic transition, I've done it with multiple people. And there are some tips and tricks on that. Anyway, that's a whole other video. My purpose with going ketogenic was because I was really sick. As a result of going ketogenic, I was able to detox more efficiently. I have been able to starve out the bad buggers who were like infesting every part of my body. My cognition has improved. My inflammation has gone down. Cognition is ability to think. Oh man. Energy levels have improved, like steady energy levels throughout the day. It's just all the things. It's really worked well for me, and it's worked well for the clients that I've put it on. There's also a lot of evidence around this. So what kind of evidence am I backing my opinion with? Humans have been living in a ketogenic world for the majority of our existence. Okay, we didn't always, especially people who live outside of 30 degrees, either direction of the equator. Okay, if your heritage is more in the equatorial regions, or around 30 degrees either way, you can probably get away with more carbohydrates than those of us who are Vikings, because I am a flat Viking. I'm like all Northern European. I got my 23andMe and I was like, most boring report ever. 99.9% Northern European. Hoorah! And so those of us who are of that Northern European descent tend to do better with fewer carbs. Why? Because genetically, we evolved in an area where there wasn't carbs readily available. We didn't have fruit, people. That was we'd have an orange at Christmas time, once a year. We have a totally back-asswards way of looking at food in our world. Don't even get me started. But ketogenesis and ketogenic ways of eating have been around forever. But clinical applications came around maybe about 50 years ago-ish, and it was used originally to treat epilepsy, that seizure disorder. So it was used originally to treat epilepsy. Why? Because it decreased inflammation in the brains of the patients so much that their seizures stopped. Quick little factoid I learned about that today is that the Romans figured this out way back in the day. When there were people who were having epileptic fits, they would put them in rooms because they thought that they were going crazy. They would put them in rooms where they wouldn't eat. Okay, these people wouldn't be eating. Now, fasting puts you into ketosis, whole other video again, but fasting and not eating eventually puts you into ketosis or into a ketogenic pathway. And when these people were secluded in the rooms, their seizures stopped. So they already knew that that was, a really big decreaser of brain inflammation. All right? Now, why is that important for detox? And especially for those of us suffering with CIRS. A lot of you are suffering with CIRS, chronic inflammatory response syndrome, just a review. That's when a pathogen of any kind is infesting your body, which mostly everybody has going on. And CIRS causes massive inflammation, especially in your nervous tissue. So when you go ketogenic, you decrease the inflammation in your nervous system, which is one of the biggest problems with CIRS. Okay, point number 2. It takes away the fuel for the badass dudes infesting your body, such as parasites. So those kinds of things like candida, parasites, even molds, they feed off of sugar. They like it. They like it a lot because it's easy to burn. So when you take away their fuel, they're like, me, why, me, I'm gonna die, bye, right? So you take, and eventually, yes, I've heard different theories that they'll eventually start feasting off of fats. I have no doubt about that, but that's why there's a whole comprehensive approach. And it's not just diet alone that will take care of your CIRS, candida, mold, parasites. You can't just attack it with diet. It has to be a comprehensive approach, okay? So ketogenic, again, takes those carbohydrates and sugars out. They're gone. You don't have them anymore. Yes, it's a sacrifice, but I choose health over eating crappy food and fruit. Sorry. But I want to feel better and I want to feel vital. So, anyway, so that's part number 2, is that it takes away the fuel for the bad guys. There's no real, you don't need research for that. It's you take away the glucose. Okay. Also, when you take away carbohydrates and you decrease your carbohydrates, you are able to flush out water. Well, actually, it's just one of the side effects is that you flush water a lot. Like, you're not going to be holding on to water. That's part of why some people get really sick when they first go keto, because they don't understand how to rehydrate properly, or that you need more salt on a ketogenic diet. But you are able to flush things through your system more efficiently. Okay? It's really amazing. The kind of detoxing that does happen when you're just in ketosis. It's amazing. So these are my reasons, and the whole spiel around why I feel like ketogenesis and the ketogenic diet is the best option for detox. Now, I'm going to go over just briefly why I don't feel the other ways of eating are necessarily as great. So, all right, I'm getting ready to get attacked here. But anyway, this is again my opinion. It's backed by research and evidence. Okay, so Paleo, still good. My only issue with Paleo is that it's sometimes way too high in protein, and people are not getting enough vegetable matter, which, by the way, you don't need a ton of vegetables, just a heads up. You do need some, but you don't need a ton. And it's often like, oh, I get to eat all the bacon, I get to eat all the like sausage links, you know? I'm like, no, wrong. And some people do that on keto too. So I feel like ketogenesis and ketogenic diets are better than paleo because it's a little bit more restrictive in a good way. So it gives you a really good layout so that you can actually like know, okay, this is what's going into my body and this is why. And I understand like listening to your body's needs, again, a whole other video. I just feel like ketogenic diet is a little bit easier for people to follow and kind of know what to eat and what not to eat. I think it's a bit easier. There's less confusion. Anyway, especially when done properly. A lot of people don't do it properly. So why not vegetarian? Because of the entirely high carbohydrate nature of it. Way too high carbohydrate. All those buggers living in your system are going to love it, and they're going to feast on it, and they're going to fuel like crazy. Same with veganism, especially with veganism. It's like all carb. Okay? Case in point, my ex was a vegan when we first met. Okay? And then I, one night, was cooking some eggs, and he was just staring like longingly at my plate like, babe? I was like, do you want to try some eggs? He was like, I want 4. I was like, okay. So I cooked him up some eggs and we broke his little vegan cherry, and he felt better and he detoxed better and he felt so much better off of that eating plan. Now, mind you, he was a hardcore vegan and it was a really tough transition for him, but he was ecstatic that he went through it. And he was always just like, oh my God, I can't believe that I was eating that way. Like, I felt like crap. And now that I don't feel that way, he didn't know that he was feeling like crap until he switched eating styles. So also the lack of animal, frankly, matter really is a detriment to your system. Your body assimilates animal proteins better than plant protein. Okay, so yes, I hear the argument of like, oh, you know, like there's more protein per gram in asparagus, right? It's not assimilated the same. And then there's complete and incomplete proteins. Animal proteins are complete. Plant proteins are generally incomplete. There are exceptions. But that animal matter, and I'm not saying eat a ton of animal matter. It's actually not very much. Like, I only eat 2.5 ounces of animal meat per day. And then, like, I have eggs for sure. But it's not like you don't eat, like, steak after steak after steak. That's not how you do ketogenic diets correctly. But it's important and it's crucial to get those animal proteins in. Not a ton, again, not a ton, and select, like fish, great, sardines, awesome. And it's not a lot. It's not a lot, but it's really beneficial for your system. Okay? There is evidence that veganism and vegetarianism can cause more inflammation than reduce it. And that's one of the biggest reasons why I'm a big fan of the ketogenic diet, is that it is so anti-inflammatory when done correctly. That's the point of it. It decreases inflammation. So, in our day and age, and what's going on with a lot of my viewers out there, especially with SIRS and detoxing, I prefer the ketogenic diet. Again, my opinion, but I feel like it's backed by some pretty good research and evidence. So, hope this was helpful. And again, if you are looking for answers, or if you need some more information on what I just talked about, or you want to work together, in a different way, just email me down below at the links down below. And yeah, I also have some exciting news. There is a really awesome product called the IQ Air that I use all the time. It's in my house. I advocate it to everyone who I work with. It's an air filter. The only one that actually filters out mold, by the way. And I'm going to put a PDF of a brochure down below. If you do end up buying the IQ Air, please reference the code on the back of that brochure. And yeah, all right. Looking forward to talking with you guys next week. And yeah, share any video information, or share these videos and let me know what other kinds of videos you want to know about and hear, what kind of information you'd like. And until next time, thank you so much. When you feel like you can't, learn that you can. There is hope. There is hope, I promise. Okay, bye.